So of course, the off-roady, blocky Land Cruiser had to make a comeback. And you're looking at it. This is the new Toyota Land Cruiser in all its retro modern glory. Here's something fun. Your headlight design changes depending on which Land Cruiser trim you get. So this one here is your mid-tier Land Cruiser, and you get the rectangular headlights. However, if you opt for the 1958 or the first edition, which is made in limited numbers, you get round headlights. Overall though, everything makes it look like a big FJ Cruiser. Also, another feature to note, this back window opens, which is a great feature and all SUVs should have it. Touchscreens are good, but it seems like the general consensus is the fewer the better. The good news from in here is most things still use physical buttons. So your climate, your drive mode, your off-road stuff, all physical buttons. That being said, a few convenience features that come standard include wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as well as this conveniently located charging pad. So despite the Land Cruiser having a very roomy second row and trunk, it doesn't come with a third row of seats. Sorry. All Land Cruisers are hybrids now, but don't let that turn you off, because this ain't no Prius. At the heart of these SUVs is the iForce Max powertrain, a 2.4-liter turbocharged inline-4 engine, plus an electric motor integrated between that engine and 8-speed transmission that's powered by a little battery beneath the back seats. Horsepower is rated at 326 and there's 465 pound-feet of torque for Land Cruisers. However, seeing as the old Land Cruiser got like 17 miles to the gallon on the highway and this new one gets 25, I doubt many will complain. It's still not amazing, let me be clear, but at least it's improved. With all of the off-road talents the Land Cruiser has, naturally, we would wonder how it is on road. The answer is very pleasant. The ride is nice. These are curvy roads, and this is no sports car, but it handles decently. You have to plan ahead a little more. There is more body roll and lean than in a non-off-roady SUV. But once you get that under your belt, I mean, it's pretty pleasant to huck around these corners. It kind of comes alive, and this powertrain really adds to it. It's crisp, it's fresh, and there's plenty of low-end power, so this thing gets moving very easily. I'm sure the V8 was charismatic and charming all in its own way, but man, this one just feels suitable for the modern ages. The brakes too grab very well. There's always kind of that weird trade-off that some hybrids have. That is not the case here, and if anyone's gonna smooth out the hybrid experience, it's Toyota. They've been at it for like decades. The in-cabin noise is a little louder. I mean, that's just what you get with big upright windshield, these big mirrors, and the all-terrain tires. It's gonna be a little louder in here. It's not going to be whisper silent. That being said, with all these things working against it, it's not terrible. In practice, this cabin layout is great. The visibility too is also nice. I mean, this is a big vehicle. However, the hood kind of tapers down a little bit so you can see over it more easily. And the really upright windshield means that
you know, we're all involved in a great love affair with the automobile.
Motor Trend's Cars and Reviews.
We've been your guide for 75 years because we know what drives you.
You can see out the front very, very well. Plus the belt lines are low and the windows are big. So side visibility is good as well, and you get to rest your elbow on a sill when you want to relax a little bit. We've gone over some pretty biblical potholes up here also, but the big sidewalls and the cushy suspension soaks it all up. It gives you a sense of invincibility, actually, because if you're driving a sports car, you're like, I don't want to go over that, I'm going to straddle this one or that one. This one, you just go over it, and it's totally fine. There's a freedom in that I am enjoying immensely. I think the biggest mark against the Land Cruiser is the steering. Obviously, big vehicle, you want all of the information that you can get when you're driving it. However, the steering is kind of floaty and vague. So like you go like this and not a whole lot happens when I sort of want something to happen. So it's just a little more planning to get yourself used to it. As an off-roader, the Land Cruiser is quite good, especially for something with slightly lower ground clearance and more pedestrian-looking tires. The new hybrid engine's added torque and generous torque curve come in especially handy, but again, that's at the expense of fuel economy. But things out on the trails are smooth, despite regenerative braking. The traction control system works exceptionally well. Even without its locker engaged, the Land Cruiser can get itself efficiently through some pretty tough obstacles. The suspension felt the most comfortable at a jogging pace on decently rough trails. Against stuff like Wranglers and Broncos, the Toyota can definitely hold its own. Pricing for the new Land Cruiser is what you'd expect from a rugged midsize SUV carrying an iconic nameplate. The Land Cruiser 1958 starts at around $57,000, the Land Cruiser at around $63,000, and the first edition at around $76,000 cheaper than the related Lexus GX. All three SUVs do essentially the same thing, so choosing one that's best for you comes down to personal preference and budget. There are more mid-sized SUVs than we can count on the market today, but the new Land Cruiser stands apart, and not just because it is one of Toyota's most iconic models. Today's Land Cruiser is more comfortable and modern than any that has come before it, but it doesn't lose that trucky magic that made it so beloved in the first place. You still get that sense of adventuring go anywhere-ness, and you can get it dirty as hell and not even worry about it, and it looks great too. So to find out more about the new Toyota Land Cruiser, head over to motortrend.com. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.